Hey, I'm Wes, and I blew my entire life savings and charged up every credit card I own to make a short film. I don't recommend you go out and do this. In fact, I'm still dealing with the repercussions, good and bad, and the emotional roller coaster that this has been. But I thought, why don't I start a series on here on YouTube where I can get some of these things off my chest, the good and the bad, and also document this journey from where I'm at currently in post-production to actually releasing the film and kind of seeing how it all goes. And maybe this will be something that somebody out there can use and get some really good information from and learn what to do or what not to do. And you get front row seats to this crazy wild journey that I'm on without having to spend your own life savings doing something crazy like this. First off, the question you're probably wondering, which is, why did I do it? Well, a little over a year ago, I released my first short film, Pillowman, out into the world. And this is the first short film that I had done narrative work on. And it's something where I reconnected with my best friend of over 25 years, Jeff, that we used to shoot short films back in the day on a little Sony, like a little handheld DV camera. And they were just films that we created for ourselves when we were teenagers, and to showcase to our friends. Like, our friends would come over and sit on the couch and we'd show them these ridiculous short films that we made that were edited in camera, actually. So they were rough, but it was something that we loved doing. And when I reconnected with Jeff, we decided to utilize some of the filming equipment that I had, and the fact that I was working in the video space to give it a go again. And we went into Pillowman with no expectations, and we had a lot of fun. And we actually ended up submitting it to some festivals, some small festivals, but we got a couple awards and we got some encouraging feedback, which it felt really good. And it also made us think, and where can we go with this? And there's been a project that we've been kicking around for well over 6 years called Mr. TV Man. And it was a project I didn't feel comfortable taking on before I'd really kind of got my feet under me. And that's what Pillowman did. It was kind of, it was a way to kind of get my feet wet in making a narrative short film and kind of be experimental and push boundaries in the framework of something where I'm like, I don't care if this is rough or whatever. I'm just happy to do something expressive. And that turned out a bit better than I expected, and it led me to believe that I want to go all in with this next thing. And to be honest, I don't want to wait anymore. Life is short, and I feel like the world sometimes is crazy, and I saw an opportunity where it felt like a lot of things were lining up. When we released Pillowman, it was a huge piece that connected us with people that I felt like were going to be the creative backbone to TV Man, like our art director Robin Egan and our concept artist Michelle Dahl, who those people ended up being super important to TV Man. So thankfully I was right. But those things to me felt like a big sign that now is the time. And it was a gut feeling, and it's still scary to say I'm going to cash in all my chips and I'm going to throw everything to the wall and see what sticks, because I'm a single father. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. And it's hard. You're betting a lot on something that's really risky. We all know how, everybody out there pretty much knows how risky film is. And to be honest, I went into this thing not expecting to make my money back. I pretty much made the decision that money is gone, and I made my peace with that. And I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, as long as I had this really cool piece of art that felt like a real true expression of what I've been trying to say creatively all my life, that I'm okay with being broke, and I'm okay if nobody cares when it gets out there. And I made that decision, and I had that kind of conversation with myself. And it's a serious talk. If you're in this kind of situation, you have to be honest with yourself if you're okay with that, because it is hard. And I made that decision, and I'm good with it, but it still is scary. And the only thing that I was really worried about was doing all of this and not having something to show for it. I think that was the scariest part, was during pre-production and production. When we went into this, I had a couple moments where I'm like, oh man, what if we don't have a film to show? What if something happens? What if somebody that I hired messes up? Or there's so many variables with production where things can go wrong, because you're dealing with audio, video, performances from actors, and all these things that it is a miracle that a film gets done. And I'm so thankful to say that nothing catastrophic went wrong during production, and in large part because I had an incredible crew that did not let anything go wrong. And a lot of that's luck, and again, that's scary. So I cashed out and hedged my bets on hard work and a little bit of luck, which is crazy to say. So I also made a lot of decisions that I think would give producers nightmares early on in pre-production. With this being an indie film and with this being self-funded, I decided to do a couple things the hard way. Like, we decided to build a set. So Mr. TV Man's home is completely hand built. So, the walls, we wallpapered, constructed all the walls. We got doors, door frames, and all of that. And we actually built it in my garage and broke it all down before filming in the studio that we had to film in, and loaded it all in the biggest U-Haul truck we could and built it. We had one day to build it out before cameras rolled the next day, and it worked out, but it was really hard. And again, it's not something I recommend doing unless you really want it and that is really your vision. And for us, it made sense, and when you see the film, it makes sense for what we're trying to do, and it looks right. It gives our film a little bit of an otherworldly feel, and I'm really glad that we ended up building a set. But it was hard. We were building this set in triple-digit heat in Sacramento in my garage. And there was a couple days, one day where I got a bit of heat exhaustion and whatnot, and it is hard work, and it's not something you go into kind of half-hearted. You really got to want to have that thing and be willing to put in the work, because it's pretty unforgiving. But I'm glad we did it, and it happened to work out, but it is one of those things where it could have easily gone wrong. I'm really lucky that we had an incredible construction lead, Kevin, that really did an incredible job. And it's people like that stepped up in their roles that really made this thing magical. And it did feel, it felt like I really lucked out with the incredible people that I surrounded myself with. And that is a big part of pre-production and planning that is so important to filmmaking. And that's one thing that I can say that I definitely learned from this, and that I would pass on to you if you're considering doing something like this, is make sure that you surround yourself with people that can do the work that you need help with, and also treat them right. And you're going to spend a lot of time with these people. Like, these are people that you're going to be around, 12-hour days and whatnot. And, take that into consideration and talk to them and plan and make sure that they feel like they're a part of the planning process, because You can't do it all yourself. Making a film is a communal effort, more so than any art form. I think one of the hardest things about directing this film for me was, no matter what I was feeling and the stress and pressure I was feeling internally, trying to just be a constant source of stability for the crew around me, because they're looking to you as a leader. And, you have to kind of be unwavering. And, here I am thinking, oh God, my life savings is on the line. And I just don't want this to turn into a dumpster fire. And are we going to pull this off? And I had to, push those feelings down and just kind of forge ahead. And there was a couple times where it was really hard. And, when we wrapped, the first couple days of shooting, I had, I'll admit it, I broke down because everything that I was holding in just came barreling at me, and it was a lot of emotions, and that wasn't something I expected either. But it's scary, and I know it's not cool to admit that I was scared or sexy or whatever, but I'll admit it, I was scared. One of the things that really helped me was just focusing on moment to moment and putting one foot in front of the other. Because as a director, you have to be in the moment, because it is your vision. And if you are not in the moment and your vision is not clear, the wheels of the bus are going to fall off. So I'm glad to say that the production wasn't a dumpster fire, and we got the footage that we needed, which, it still feels surreal to be able to say that. And one of the things that I thought was, once we wrapped production and we went into post, I was going to feel lighter after the crazy amount of time we were in pre-production, which was about 9 months, the insane amount of work in production and everything else. I was really hoping that I'd feel like I was getting a bit of a break once we had all the shots wrapped in the can. But I definitely have still felt pretty stressed out during post-production, and it's all right. But again, that's why I'm here, is to get some of the stuff off my chest to you unfortunate people listening to this video right now. But the good news is post-production is going pretty well. Most of Mr. TV Man is done practically in camera, but there's a little bit of fun VFX stuff that I'm going to be getting some help with, which is exciting. I also just cut together a trailer that I'm going to be showing at a wrap party next weekend that's specifically for the crew. It's not a public trailer, but I'm excited to show the people that worked so hard on this project what their work did, because it turned out way better than I could have imagined, and I'm so thankful for that. And so we're just forging ahead with post-production and getting the little bits. There's a couple pickup shots we need to kind of round things out, but we're aiming for hopefully February, having a solid cut of this film done with sound and everything like that. And from there on, we're going to be planning a premiere, and we're also going to be doing the festival run. Future Wes here. I'm excited to announce that at the wrap party, we announced that we're going to be developing Mr. TV Man into a feature film, and we're going to use the short film as a proof of concept. There's a lot of things we have to figure out, obviously, because it's a huge task, but we're excited to see how far we can take this thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to kick it back to me in the past. I have to admit that after doing this, as hard as it is, and it's really been it's the hardest thing I've done in my life. Hardest thing, nothing is even close as far as the amount of work and mental stress I've been under, but I don't want to do anything else with my life, and it feels so scary to say that. But I feel like I got a peek over the wall of where I want to be. And it's not because I want a title. It's not because like I'm chasing money. It's because like when I was on set and when I was doing this thing and directing and with my crew, it felt like it felt like that was right. Like, and it felt like the world made sense for the first time. And you know, I'm hoping we can get back there. And even if this short film is the end of it, I'm good with that, because I made something awesome with some of the coolest, talented people and my best friend, and I'm so fortunate for that. So, you know, again, I would love it if if people came back and checked in on me to make sure that I haven't lost my mind, because I'm going to be doing these videos, maybe bi-weekly. We'll see. I want to do them basically, I'm going to drop them on, I think, every Monday or every other Monday, depending on how I crank them out. But yeah, come back and check them out, and I'd love to see your faces again. So thanks for being a part of this. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you come back. I just appreciate you stopping by in the first place. And whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that you're doing great. And I'll see you next time.